So you're on the Rat, the Jersey Shore. We've been here for about 30 years. I think the last time I spoke to you was Psycho Circus era. So it's been a little bit.
Yeah,
Been a little
and
bit.
and you've got the Benjamin Button thing, gotten younger.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
I
I
have a I have a feeling you'll be popular in jail. I don't know why, but
don't. As soon as they catch up to me.
that's right.
I got enough lawyers though, that's for sure. Uh it's less booze and more exercise. It's keeping me young.
Whatever you say. I just work here.
Yeah, right? We're going to talk a little bit about the gig May 5th and 6th. So you got the Basie in Red Bank, Montclair, Wellmont Theater in Montclair on the 6th. And then some other stuff that might pop up. So you said farewell, a long farewell, about an hour from where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, that's right.
December 2nd, 2023. I mean, everybody was abuzz with it. But now you're back. And
Yeah.
um,
Well, yes, and no. We the band Kiss that I've been a proud member of for half a century, longer than you've been alive, I'm sure.
I got 7 more years in that, but yeah.
And 50 years is enough. 50 years after you climb the heights and 5,000 licensed products and 100 million sales and stadiums and all that stuff is a lot of fun and all that. But at a certain point, you have to have some self respect and dignity, knowing full well that the physicality of Kiss, I mean, we're not one of my favorite bands, Steely Dan, or I love Radiohead, or I love, they can continue doing this forever because the physical wear and tear, there's none. You can dress like you do right now in a t-shirt, be at home doing a podcast, or get up on stage, put a guitar around your neck, and play until you're croak. Kiss was a different beast. Kiss was the hardest working band on that stage, wearing 40 pounds of armor and studs and 8-inch dragon boots and spitting fire and flying through the air and all. It's a big physical undertaking. So I think we did the right thing and did it the right way, which is we said thank you, heartfelt, to all the fans who made our lives possible. 10 blocks from where we first put together the band. 10
Yeah.
East 20, on 23rd Street, and then 50 years later on 33rd Street. I think we did it the right way, including, by the way, a blitz, the likes of which New York has never seen. Every single cab, taxi had Kiss all around the taxis. If you went to pizza shops and wanted to get the Kiss was on the pizza cover. If you went into the subway and took a subway ticket, Kiss was on the tickets. If you looked
I
up, if
remember
you,
covering it, my friend. I
I
do.
mean, if you looked up at the Empire State Building, Kiss, it was a Kiss world,
Yeah.
even if it was only for a little while. But you're right about the idea of you think you've got everything planned out, but life actually is what happens to you while you're busy making your oh so important plans. I thought I could stay away from the stage, but didn't happen. And I wasn't, by the way, planning it. I got a phone call from a promoter in South America in April, this last April. Hey, do you want to headline Summerfest, which is our big, outdoor stadium show? And I said, sure. Where is it? Sao Paulo. I'm there. I'm in. And then after I hung up the phone, I realized, wait a minute, I don't have a band. So I had to call the usual suspects, the Killers, multi-instrumentalists, and really great players, and they look great. So
So
we've got to,
if that was a thank you to the fans, is there a statement with this?
yeah, this is for
This
me. This is for me alone. I'm having the time of my life, and I'm doing one for me, which is just playing tunes, having a great time. I literally have no road crew. There's no manager. We don't have anything. In fact, we don't even carry amplifiers or drums. We show up locally. It's provided. I bring my guitar pick, and Bob's your uncle, as the English say.
Uh-huh.
And because of the flexibility of it, I get to have a lot more fun. I mean, if you were in the front, well, maybe not you, you're too good looking, but people close by the stage, if I see you singing along, it looks like, oh, you know what? They know the tunes. You get pulled up on stage so you can be a rock star too. Yeah, as many as 30. And you can go to Google and Schmoogle and Yahoo and all the other childlike names of you know, techno buttons that you can press and see videos of fans that get up on stage. Some of them pick up a guitar and play along. And there's a 14-year-old drummer who hopped up on stage in Copenhagen who was a killer. And there was a 15-year-old kid who played Parasite. Great. In fact, we never met the kid. Never. It's just like dive into the deep end and have a good time. So
Is it a like a Vegas showcase that you're trying to pull off, or is
no,
it a
no,
it's a
no.
really personal experience for you as well?
What's a Vegas showcase? What does that mean?
Well, where there's well, no, I guess it can't be because I was thinking, well, this is a presentation where you've got costumes and whatnot, but you just said you're traveling light.
Oh, I'm gonna.
So,
I could conceivably show up like this.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no makeup, no none of that stuff. It's just me having a good time. And by the way, yes, there's a set of tunes that we do. You'll hear your favorite Kiss tunes, but if somebody yells out, "Why don't you do Spit?" You know, an obscure track off of Revenge, we look at each other and go, "Yeah, key of E. Okay, here we go. Battle, got no man is in up," and you go into it. And
To be a much more loose machine.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Including, by the way, no rules. During a Kiss show, nobody would yell out, "Hey, why don't you do Tush by ZZ Top?" But at the solo band shows, if somebody yells it out, you guys know Tush. We look at each other and we go, in the key of G, let's go. 2, 3, 4, ba, 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 da, and you go into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very, very fun. So the presentation clearly very, very different than what we've seen.
Yeah.
Uh,
Much more. It's like your favorite band is rehearsing in the garage. And then they decide to open the garage door, and everybody in town comes in there. You know, you're close enough so that you can liaise, fancy word. So you can actually engage with the fans. With Kiss shows, you know, the big arenas and the stadiums, you can't really get that up close and personal. So in the middle of the show, somebody can yell out a question. You know, is it true you have 3 kids running around in Buffalo? I go, wait, stop the show. What do you mean by that? Is your mom? Do I know her? You know, you engage in that thing, so it's much more personal, and I'm having the time of my life.
so bring your requests and paternity papers to the
I didn't. I
to
didn't
the
say.
Gene,
I didn't say that.
okay, to the Gene Simmons show.
By
May
the
5th.
way, women never get maternity papers. How come that's what's fair is fair? Come on,
That could
I'm
be
gonna
true.
I'm gonna serve you with maternity papers.
I think they know a little bit beforehand than we do, my friend.
I don't know anything. I just work here.
Uh, I got a question. Peter lives about 15 minutes from where I'm
Yeah.
sitting right now, about
Yep.
30 minutes from Red Bank, maybe an hour from,
Peter Chris, for those
yeah,
that don't know who we're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. The Catman. How's your deal with him? Is there a chance that he would be part of any of the killers that might be on stage? Like,
If Peter wanted to jump up or ace and stuff, sure. By the way, in previous Gene Simmons band shows, Ace jumped up on stage. In fact,
right.
as a matter of fact, I went to Australia in the downtime when Kiss wasn't touring. I wanted to play anyway, so did a tour of Australia, the Gene Simmons band, and I made sure Ace came along as the opening act. So Ace hopped up on stage, used my backing band, and then we played a few tunes on stage.
Right.
Sure,
Right.
why not?
I mean, if it's loose, right? Well, there
As,
you go.
as a goose.
Thoughts are things, and he's in Wall Township, literally the next town over. So, um, some people around here are curious to know how you came up with the $12,000 price point for the roadie deal. A lot of bands are doing you can be a roadie for a day, but you are
I wasn't aware of that other bands are doing this. But here's the deal. When I was a kid and I went to see Hendrix or somebody, of course I enjoyed the show and really got off on it. We talk about it forever and stuff. But I didn't know what it was like. Like, what's the beginning of the day like? What's it like to sit and have breakfast or lunch with my favorite rock stars, then get in the limo, go to the gig, set up the drums and the thing, do sound check, and then be on stage with your video, which because nowadays everything's on video. You can't take a poop without a camera coming in under the stall.
right.
And then you get pulled up on stage to sing along with it. Now, having said that, we only do one roadie for a day per show. And I'll tell you why, because nowadays everything is so litigious. That's a big word like gymnasium. That means everybody sues everybody for no reason. So if you get a paper cut, somebody gets sued. And that's just the way life is here in America. Much more in California, by the way. It's crazy out here.
True that.
So I can't, even if I wanted to, bring out, do roadie for a day with 10, 20, 30, as many people. So we do one because the insurance costs for that are astronomical. And so this ain't cheap. It's not for everybody. And for that one person, you do have to pay premium numbers. That's just life.
As a businessman, I'm sure you weighed what value is and the exclusivity, how exclusive this opportunity is, and you spun the wheel and came up with 12.5.
But also, it's not just the classic stuff. It's also exposure, financial and legal exposure, right?
Right. Yeah.
Somebody has a bad experience and they sue you, and now it costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
don't.
what you need insurance for everything. Do you have a car?
Yeah.
You've got insurance. Do you
Listen,
have this? Yeah, you
we
got like
don't, we don't need
every
Gene selling any more houses. It's okay. It's all good.
everything in life, apparently. In fact, you buy anything, a tool, they give you insurance. Would you like 1 year or 3 year? Everything's insured.
Yeah, my extended warranty on the Gene Simmons roadie for a day is in. I,
Extended warranty.
right.
That's called insurance.
Yeah,
Protecting yourself
exactly.
against getting into trouble.
How's the VR thing coming along for Kiss?
Well, here for people that don't know, there's a company out of Sweden called Pop House. They're responsible for that amazing ABBA show that's been ongoing outside of London and has millions of tickets sold. It's really big.
Gigantic.
And so they bought the underlying rights, the makeup and the tunes. And, we appreciate that, and they paid a pretty penny. And well worth it. They did really well. So behind the scenes, Pop House and us have been working on putting together something that nobody has ever done before. We've already filmed motion capture, which means you dress up in black outfits like the X-Men, tie your hair back the way mine is here now, and get like these skull caps, and there are cameras and things so that every time you move, you get almost a 3D version. So it's called motion capture. We did that at George Lucas's place up outside of San Francisco. So, and then the technology has come so far. The only way I can describe it is in the next year to 2 years, something. We're calling it Kiss Avatars for now. You will experience something that you've never experienced before. I mean, You can go to the Sphere in Las Vegas and see the most amazing visuals up all around you. So much so that you forget that there's a band on stage in front of you. You don't even look at the band. You're just busy looking at everything else. But you don't suspend belief because if you look down, you can see your hangnail sticking out of your index finger. So you know you're here and now. If you look to the left, there's somebody there sitting. So you're aware of where you are. Virtual reality glasses are closer. You put those glasses on and everything disappears. You're not even sure you're standing on firm ground, your sense of gravity.
My
And you
kids
don't,
got them.
yeah, you could be anywhere. You're bumping into walls. You could be in outer space, dinosaurs, whatever. Now imagine that kind of reality without glasses.
I mean, without drugs, that's pretty cool.
I'm not qualified to talk about that because I've never been high or drunk in my life,
I know that, and I respect that.
except in a dentist chair when they give me laughing gas, and that's when I laugh more than Bozo the Clown.
I tell my dentist to set it for Grateful Dead 1972.
I'm not qualified to comment on that. Never been to a Dead show.
Not a lot of not qualifies going on here. That's all right by me. What about a debut? Actually a sphere might be kind of cool. What kind of venue do you see this debuting in? A small
Well,
venue, a
no,
me
these are going to be big events, which is why you have to control. We're not doing that. Pop House is.
right. Stupid
In,
question though. It's
in,
Kiss. It's got to be big.
yeah, that's right. Your girlfriend has been lying to you all these years. Size does count. You
Yeah.
know, when they told you that, no, no, sorry to bother you, but that's just life. The bigger, the better. And that's what it's going to be, an extravaganza, the likes of which your five senses have never experienced before. You'll see what I mean when you see it. It's like, imagine a caveman can speak English fluently, and you put a pair of virtual glasses on his head. He would think he died and went to another dimension, or he just couldn't fathom it. That's what it's like, and we only saw a very simple version of that, and it's unbelievable.
You have a date? Do you know when it's starting? You know where they're at? Like,
It's up to Pop House. They're really an amazing company.
yeah,
You may as well ask a painter, okay, so how long before you finish the painting? That's not the way it works. You
got it.
you do it until it's right, because that first big audience that's going to see it is how you're going to be judged on that opening night. The reviews and all the perception is going to be there. So you got to get everything right, just like a movie, before it's released. And people ask, I'm sure, I'm a farmer, I'm going to have an apple tree here. Okay, so when's the apple tree? Pal, buddy, I just have the seed. I'm planting it. The tree is going to grow at its own pace. And whenever the apples come, that's when they come.
Interesting. It would be, with movies, and to your point, with movies, there's always test audiences and whatnot. It'd be interesting to be in.
That's right. That's exactly right. You got to get all the kinks worked out so that that first opening night and all the shows after that, people are going to be blown away because that's the idea.
Yeah. I would switch gears a little bit. I saw the posts that your son Nick and Paul's son Evan were sharing some music of their own. Did you
They're they
early
are
on? Go
no,
ahead.
we did. They
Did
were
you?
pals, obviously through their whole lives because they
Yeah.
bump into each other when they go to see their fathers at work.
Did you
Uh,
harbor hopes about when your kids were young? Did you harbor hopes about
no.
what they would become?
Oh, yes. You want your children to forge their own path, be kind, ethical, moral, and then the rest is just hard work. And then they got to figure out what they want to do. Now it's true. Nick and Sophie, our two kids, do have a safety net, and that's called dad. Okay, but other than that, there are a lot of well-off kids, who don't do very much with their lives. If you Google and schmoogle Sophie Simmons, you'll see she's a giant in the Spotify pop world. She's written for Train. I don't know if you know who that is.
Sure.
Train rock band. Rick Ross is a rapper. She's got the number one song in Asia right now, in China and Asia, with a K-pop girl out of Korea whose name I don't. There's a lot of different worlds now. So she sings, manages, records, and people hire her to write songs. So she's currently writing with the guy that wrote the Cher song, "Believe." Do you believe in love after
Great
love?
song.
Yeah. So
Worldwide global hit.
she's right up there, triple A. And Nick has his own band called Symfera, Symfera, and they have already had their music on Prodigal Son TV show, Ozark, the
Huh. Great show.
streamer thing. And in fact, the entire show was their music. And then all of a sudden, I would urge people to Google or YouTube Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons, Sounds of Silence. Evan came over to Nick's house. Hey, how you doing? I said, boy, it's great. Everything's fine. Now that the Kiss touring thing has stopped, and Evan brought an acoustic guitar. And Nick has got a room where he videos everything, and they just started singing, and it's a mind blower when you hear it. You immediately go, "Wow, this is great!" And they were shocked too, and it happened so fast. They sat down, started writing songs for this other thing, this kind of harmonized sort of Everly Brothers meets Simon and Garfunkel meets Crosby, Stills, Nash. And they're currently recording their first album, but that's all I'm allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say, but the producer is one of the big guys, one of the big guns.
I, when I heard it, I said, "Man, those guys can harmonize."
It's on. Well, there's such a thing. A lot of people can harmonize. There is such a thing as timbre, Timber. The sound of people's voices. In fact, there's a show called The Voice. As a matter of fact, they called me to say, "Is this a good idea? Should we get involved?" Republic Records. I go, "You better do it." And the first impression is the sound of people's voices. Even if you can sing, I mean, my mother could sing, but the sound of the voice is unique. So when you hear a unique timbre, a sound of your voice, is one thing, and then to match it up with another sound. The uniqueness of the Beatles, yes, they could sing harmonies, but when the harmonies, Crosby, Stills, Nash, when those harmonies fit and they sound great together, it's like great cooking. Everybody uses salt and pepper and stuff like that, but when you taste something and it's delicious, it's that mixture that really works. So it's not so much singing harmony, it's whether the voices actually meld.
The timbers connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Are they? I mean, clearly, world of entertainment is a hell of a lot different than when you started um, with Kiss. Are they using any of these new tools, AI, et cetera, in whether it's Sophie or Nick and
No,
Evan?
they're natural musicians. They write and sing and no auto tune, none of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And by the way, I don't have any problem with anybody doing whatever because now, there are EDM artists who go 50,000 people and here's my concert. You ready? You press a button, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom.
right.
Hey, whatever makes people happy. Everybody's got an opinion. And
Whatever makes people happy. I enjoy that line because it kind of elicits freedom.
yeah, it's like, hey, who am I to say? I took my wifey and we went to see an opera. You may as well have been pulling teeth out of my skull without Novocaine. It was not a pleasant experience for me, but everybody at the opera was, and I tried, but it's not for me. And then I tried Broadway shows. You ever see Broadway musicals? Actually, have you ever gone one?
Not in forever, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, here's my problem. Say, hey, Gene, let's say you and I are in a Broadway musical. How are you doing, Gene? Go ahead, ask me that.
Hey, Gene, how you doing?
How am I doing? It's a beautiful day in New York. And all of a sudden, everybody's dancing and going, what happened? You were having a conversation and now you're dancing on. It's nuts. No. So there's something for everybody. And who am I to say? Musical theater and opera, not for me.
Yeah,
I love jazz, but I can't get into the ethereal stuff where you can't find the backbeat and the stuff. So there's something for everybody.
I appreciate your time, Gene.
Anytime.
Yeah. Good luck on tour. Be safe, okay?
Thank you, sir.
And
We'll
we'll
see you
see
soon.
you in Red Bank and in Montclair.
Is there a real bank?
That's you know what? If anyone can find it, it's you, baby.
And would it be red? I wonder.
It'll be Gene colored.
I like that.
Old green.
Okay, until next time.
Peace out.